Let's talk about some reminders to consider when we're using water-based paint. First things first, I have a paintbrush here. I want to hold it like a pencil and make sure that I am never smashing the bristles. I always want to keep the bristles aligned and together. That way, the brush can last for a long time. Since I'm using water-based paints, I actually need to use water. So before I paint, I'll gently dip my brush in the water and then I can wipe it on the edge of the cup to get rid of extra. If I have too much water on my brush and I were to tap, that makes droplets of water that make a mess. So we don't want to tap our brush on the edge. We do want to wipe gently so the water will slide back down into the cup. With my brush that has water on it, I'm ready to pick up some paint. If you're getting a paint and it looks like a donut with a hole in it, like this paint does, I want to imagine I am swirling the brush gently on the top of the donut, where the icing would go. I don't want to put my brush in the hole because there's no paint down there. I want to put my brush on the highest, tallest part of the paint and swirl gently. Then I'll have picked up some paint and I'll be ready to paint on my picture. On my picture, I could paint over a part that might have some texture or it might be empty. When I'm painting, I like to sometimes draw the edge of the section and then fill it in. When I'm done with this color, the next thing I'll need to do is gently rinse out my brush in the water before I get a different color so that I don't mix them up. Whenever you go back to the main paint, we want to swirl our brush in the water first, wipe it off, and then get our next color. Even if the color you want next doesn't have a hole that goes all the way down, we still want to paint on the highest edge where the icing would go if it were a donut, or where our brush would be able to touch the tallest part of the mountain if we're looking at this from the side. So the paints will stay in the cup. You won't tilt them like this when you're using them, but I'm holding it up here just to show you how I'm swirling my brush around the tallest edge. And then I could take this paint and paint another part of my picture until it is all the way painted.